Hi, I'm Brian Deurloo, President of Frog Creek Partners. Today I'm going to show you how to put together the RAD, the round adjustable diff. It's a drop inlet filter for a round catch basin. And so the different components of the RAD are, this is the skirt, it's also a funnel, we would call it the RAD skirt. And then we've got the UGF, this is under grape frame. This is a hoop that goes inside the skirt. We have a couple of VTF locks, vacuum truck friendly locks. And then over there is the filter hanger. That's a 13-inch filter hanger. The tools that we're going to use to install a RAD are, I like a geologic hammer because I like the pointy end on one side to chip away and clean the thing, clean the lip. 1/8 inch tip metal punch, 7/16 inch wrench, box cutter utility knife, or if you have one handy, a shark bite kind of PEX cutter works well to cut this. And then a pair of lines and pliers. And finally, some gas will help make it easier to bring the hoop together. So this here is adjustable. It is shipped flat many times, and you just bend it into the shape that you need, into the circumference or the diameter of the hole that you need. The different components of this frame are, we call these segments. So you have multiple segments around here. This is the non-adjustable end. It only has one of the points here where a carriage bolt can connect. But then we have 3 points over here where the carriage bolt can connect on this side. So we're going to fit this for a 26-inch diameter hole. So right now it's actually stretched out to be like, I don't know, 27 inches. So the customer can fit it while he's on site. And then, so all you do is to fit this, you move these 7/16 inch nuts and you can push it in. And then so when you drop it in the hole, you push these two apart. Boom. That's a little bit far because but you push those apart so it's going to squeeze that thing into the hole and it's going to be very sturdy. So that's the overall concept there. But if it's too big, if the diameter of this UGF is too big, then we want to take off and we just cut one of those segments off. You can cut it off with an angle grinder, but I find taking those linesman pliers and you can just fatigue the metal back and forth and it'll cause that thing to fall off. And then you redo the end right there. So this is a segment piece off of another UGF that I cut off. It's been broken off, but I'm going to show you how this little connector expansion joint works. I don't really have a name for it, but this is this same point right here, actually right there, okay? Now the first thing I'm going to do is I always take this little pointy thing and I bend it down ever so slightly, just a couple degrees. And then I take this 90, you can see those two serrated edges right there. That's a bend spot. Bend, so it's at 90 degrees. And then this one I bend 90 degrees too. Boom. So you just kind of keep bringing those together until you have it there. And that square is there to help you bring, you can put your lines and pliers in there and you can bring those two together. So see, and then finally what I'll do is I'll just bend that tab down just a little bit. Now it can't come off, it's locked in. So this little square right there is the other end, and I can put that carriage bolt in there. And it goes right in there, and the more I push that, spin that nut off, the further it's going to push it out. So it's a pretty intuitive design right there on how you expand this frame into the hole so it holds tight. So now that we've got our frame to an approximate size what we want to put into the hole, then we're going to attach the filter hanger. We generally send these from Frog Creek pre-assembled like this, so we've got three chains already on there. we have about 16 inches of chain. This will determine your overflow depth. This is the cleat. That cleat is where we can put the handle of the Mundus bag on there, so we always find it when it's in the hole. You won't need these, but these are other chain hangers. If you want to hang another chain, you can. This is the receiver where the Mundus bag fits into. And then you have two rectangular holes here. There's one right here. There's another one 180 degrees across from that right there. I have not punched that out, but I'm going to show you how you do that right now. So I just take my metal punch, just line it up, hit it once, and it just falls right out. Okay? So now I've got two open rectangles on either side, and those are going to house the VTF locks. When I put the bag in there, I drop the Mundus bag in there when it's all full. It goes, these locks are gravity locks. They go in sideways and they fall into place, so they fall in locks. So I put them in sideways, they're going to look like that. Okay? Just showing you how they work right now. Now when attaching the UGF, many times this will be pre-assembled when it comes onto your site. But I don't like to hang a chain next to the expansion joint right here. I like to move away from it to give it a little bit, but they need to be in thirds. So I'll center this on the ground. I'll lay the chains out. Let's see which ones they're going to line up with. Okay, that looks, you want to get them pretty equal from each other. So I'm going to choose this one, that one, and that one. Now, with this UGF, they have these chain hangers right here. See that? So I'm going to take my punch and I'm going to push it into the sky or bend it straight up, upwards, 90 degrees, the three chain hangers that I want to hang my filter hanger from. Their finger, you can bend them with your finger. So now I've got that one, and that one all bending straight up. Okay? All these chains are the same length. So I want it pretty deep. I'm gonna go ahead and set the overflow kind of deep right now. I'm gonna count my chain links. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm gonna set it on the 5th link. So I set that link right inside the slot. I've got 4 whole links showing. And I take that and I press it down. If I press that lock down there, that chain cannot come out one way or the other. So I'm gonna do the same thing over here. I insert, make sure your chain's straight. You don't want it kinked or anything like that. So I pull it up through. I count 4 whole chains. 1, 2, 4. There's a 5th one. I'll lock on the 5th. Boom, lock the finger down. Put it over here. If you want to, you can take a hammer. Let's just double check. Yeah, see, we have a nice even hang from that. If it's not hanging evenly, then adjust your chain so it does hang evenly. Sometimes these things are on a slope. You'll find a manhole on a slope sometimes, but you want the filter hanger to hang evenly off the bottom. So now I've got all those. I'm gonna go ahead and press all of these chain hangers down slightly. I'm gonna get them out of the way of the skirt. Just bend them down 20, 30 degrees, something like that. It doesn't have to be facing straight down. Okay, now, good fit. So I'll just take this. You want to spread that apart. Push that carriage bolt away from each other, so it's going to tighten that up. I'm going to use a 7/16 inch wrench to tighten that up. And I'm going to hold on to it so it doesn't drop in the hole. If you find the bolt slipping, it's because the carriage bolt isn't. If you find this bolt slipping as you're tightening it, it's because the carriage bolt in there is not tight enough. So go ahead and tighten up that nut to hold the carriage bolt tight in there. Okay, now we don't need it super over tight, because if for some reason if somebody needs to come in and remove this gutter bin, they can just yank it out. Now for the fun part is our fabric cone. I can tell right now, see it's way too big. Yeah, see that? I'm going to go ahead and take some off already because I know I don't need it. Don't let it fall in the hole. And I'll go ahead and bunch up a lot of this fabric, moving it towards one side. And that way it gives me this whole blank piece to work with. But I always keep the all thread exposed because that's my lock. Okay, we're pretty close with that. Looks like right there. I always cut a little bit. Measure twice, cut once. Right? So I'm going to take that and I'm not going to push it in real hard. I'm just going to stub it in there a little bit and see how it fits. Okay, so it's still a little big. I'm going to take it apart. Cut another 1/2 inch off. Don't cut your finger off. It'd be bad juju. Okay, I'm going to put them together again. I'm going to take off another 1/2 inch and I think that's going to be good. I'll be able to force it in. Now you can take this, a lot of times you can just put those together. Look at that. Just put them together and it just goes like that. But other times, I'll take a little bit of MAP gas like this and turn it on so the flame is just barely going. And I'll touch the end of the inside of that thing for like no more than 2 seconds. It'll soften up that plastic so you can insert the lock. Okay, so now what I do is I'm going to push these down a little bit because I don't want those hindering the cone. There. And then I'm going to line this part up with that. Just like that. Then I'll take this and I'm going to bend the fingers over in at least 3 spots, probably 4. Just keeps that cone in there nice and tight. Here in the beautiful town of Laramie, Wyoming, High Plains, Rocky Mountain. So I'm just gonna bend that over just a little bit. And if you ever want to replace this cone in like 10 years after it's seen its useful life, you just pull all this thing out and weave a new cone on there in about 5 minutes or so. So now that that's all installed. We can take our gutter bin here. Just to show you again, it's got that hoop underneath. We can roll that over. We can tighten that up just a little bit if we want to. It's got the backflow preventer, but it can just put it on the cleat, like I was saying earlier. Put the handle around the cleat. Here's how you clean it. You just get in there, just grab that thing, pull it straight out, just like that. And then you put it back in, do that. Make sure it sits flat. You put the handle over the top, just like that. And that is done. That's operational right there. Thanks for watching.